Come on in the room. Come on in the room. It's the morning show with the Joker and your girl, Vet Green. Come on in the room, y'all. Come on in the room.
What's going on, y'all? It's Case Closed. Ain't no other. I'm tuned in to the Morning Show podcast, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. It's hosted by Overlooked MC The Joker and Vet Green. If y'all ain't tuned in, I don't know what you doing.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Jay Relentless, the one and only, and you're watching the only morning show that's moving right now. Every morning from Monday through Friday, 7 to 10 a.m. It's the Joker and Vet Green. Tap in, tap in, tap in. The morning show podcast. You guys already know. Regardless of the outcome, my time will never switch. Let's turn the world up.
What's good, y'all? Your boy Bars Banger here. And every morning, weekday morning from 7 to 10, I'm tuned into the best morning show in the world, the Morning Show Podcast with the Overlooked MC, the Joker, and the Queen Vet Green. Monday through Friday from 7 to 10. You already know. Tap in.
Yo, what up? This your boy Terrence Love, and you're listening to the only show moving in the morning. That's the Morning Show Podcast with Joker and Vet every Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And remember, let's get love back on the radio. Terrence Love.
I do not waste my time. You better treat me right. And I do not waste my time.
Oh, baby, let me introduce myself. I'm the doctor of your heart. You can call me love. I'm the type of man to share my plans with you. Just do your part. I will make your dreams come true. Be the woman that's gonna help me build my empire.
Yeah, it's your boy the Joker, the Overlook MC, live here this morning, right here on the morning show. Make sure y'all go ahead and share, comment, all that good stuff, man. We here live and direct here on this Going Through Thursday, right here with my girl, Vet Green, the Queen, in the house right here, man. And let me know where y'all at today. Where y'all at? What y'all going through? The Going Through Thursday, what y'all going through today? What your mental health is at between 1 and 10? Let me know. Let me know where you at. You know what I'm saying? I am about a 6 in my mental health right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get that thing up to an 8 by the end of the show. You know what I'm saying? Let's get our mental health together. Let's get it together. Put it in the comments. Let me know where y'all at. You know what I'm saying? Let me know where y'all at. I know people going through some things. It's a rough time in the beginning of the year. but we here to definitely uplift your spirits right now. Make it do it. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We is here. We have our special guest in the building this morning. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments. What's going on, Queen Vet Green?
Grandest risings, bro. Grandest of risings. I'm fighting at a 4 right now, but I already know that my spirits are gonna be lifted up past that before the end of the show. Come on in the room, everybody. Come on in the room. You know what it is. It is the morning show with the Joker and Vet Green. Come on in the room. Grand Rising Bars. Grand Rising to my beautiful daughter, Devajna. Thank you, baby. I see you. Hey, Jamar. Grand Rising to you. Come on in the room, everybody. Come on in the room. Let us know where you are this morning. I'm putting myself at a 7.
Yeah. I'm definitely going. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to lift it up a little bit. We have our special guest in the building, man. Off the chain, man. One of my first mentors in the game is here in full effect right here. You know what I'm saying? Out of Myrtle Beach, man, doing this thing. Motivational speaker, man. He's definitely a positive dude, man. Teaching marketing back then, distribution, computer technology. He's a military vet. Man, I mean, I keep going and going and going. I mean, educational historian. I keep going. He got so many hats he wear. And he also a fear of God, a praying man, a father, a husband. You know what I mean? He stays in full effect with everything that he got going on. My man, Mr. Will, I finally get one of my mentors on the show for the first time in 6 years.
Wow, salute to you.
Oh yeah, you got mute. I got you. Yeah, go ahead. I got you.
All right. Y'all got me?
Yes.
It's been a minute. It's amazing. The time flies, and even just this morning, you know, my wife and I was staying over at the resort on the waterway, and last night my sons had went to an event, and then they ended up being late. So I was trying to get back over there to her because she booked the resort, and we were supposed to be talking and stuff. But I realized this morning I have no mic.
Life be life.
And I'm like, I gotta go home.
Life really be life.
Yeah, Mr. Will, let people know a little bit about yourself, man. Give them a little small bio about yourself, man, because I know I can go forever. You know what I'm saying? You wear so many hats, man. You know what I'm saying? So give them a little little small bio of who Mr. Will is.
Well, it is a lot to me because I've been around people that are a lot. It's not necessarily about me, but it's because of people like the Joker, people like Stanley too, may he rest in peace. People like Doug Davis, matter of fact, you know, him and Stanley too, one of the biggest radio personalities, brother-wise, in the upstate ever to date. But being around people like that, having being able to network a little bit with people like Professor, movie child support. So, but it's all about the people that I've been around, the people I've been exposed to. I was exposed to Les Brown years ago, Dick Vitale, the old school, motivational speakers and entrepreneurs who've been out there doing it before ET. Shout out to ET, but
shout out to ET.
I was able to spend 2 birthday weekends under the mentorship of Shaquille O'Neal. A lot of people look at Shaquille, in the beginning as just a jock, but the man is an amazing business person. I know one time when we was, I think we was in Kissimmee, right there in Orlando, and his net worth at the time was $660 million. And it's like being able to get around people like that and hear them talk. And Shaquille, he is he's the type of person, he can flip the switch from being a comedian. Some people don't know he's a DJ, hashtag DJ Diesel. He can switch from being a comedian to a DJ to, like, remember the old school E.F. Hutton, when E.F. talks, everybody listens. He can flip that switch and start talking entrepreneurship. And I'll tell you one thing, one big key thing I learned from him was that, and he said it with all respect, he said, I I don't hang around homeboys.
Yes.
You know? And so anyway, just I've been exposed to a lot of successful people, a lot of great mentors. I was born in Anderson, South Carolina. Fast forward to today, I do have 3 amazing children, and they're 2 boys and a girl. Been married for 17 years already.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. 17. I remember when y'all first got married.
yeah, moved to Myrtle Beach in May of 2006. When I got down here, I didn't really do much with the entertainment, but I ran into a guy through, matter of fact, Doug Davis from the upstate. They had moved him down here, and he was doing an open mic special, and he recognized me. I recognized him, and we was talking, and he asked me to be one of his judges, and I was one of his judges along with 2 other really awesome people. And that's how I met this other guy, one of the last guys I did any hip hop promotion with in Myrtle Beach. But anyway, yeah, Army vet, spent time in Korea, spent time in the Mojave Desert in California, spent time up at Fort Campbell, went to 2 schoolings at Fort Gordon, Georgia. The first one was in communications. The second one was in avionics. So I fixed helicopter radios and the Apaches and Blackhawks and Chinooks and all that. And that's kind of how technology wise it led me up to some other stuff I'm sure you'll bring up too.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I want to get into a conversation that me and you had about a week ago about the digital distribution. Let's talk about that. You was into the digital distribution before we knew what it was. It was at 2002.
Man, every bit of it, brother. 20 plus years ago, man. And that's a touchy thing for me even to this day, because financially I would like to be in a better spot, but in other ventures that I'm doing, learning from the past, it helps me to push forward in a different way today. So with the digital distribution, like I said, I got a background in communications and technology. And when I got out of the Army, I moved to Nashville, and there was this big old guy, Melvin Stevenson. I never really been into sports. I don't know what team he played for, but he was the type of person, he listened to his mom. Some guys, they ain't gonna listen to their mom, especially when he's big as you, Giselle.
Yeah.
Big old guy. Plus, he played football. So long story short, I was thinking about moving to Nashville, and I went to Radio Shack in the Rivergate Mall, and I'm looking for a cell phone. And Melvin, after like dealing with me for maybe 10, 15 minutes and talking to me, doing basically a discovery, he flips the switch from me buying a cell phone to, why don't you work at this store? Like, yo, I don't even live here yet,
Right.
So he had a technical background because his mom told him, son, I know you're probably going to do well in football, but just in case you get hurt, please get a degree in something you can use in the outside world. And, most football players get hurt. Unfortunately for him, he got hurt where he couldn't play anymore, and he ended up being an assistant manager at Radio Shack. So he taught me into working for Radio Shack. So my life instantly went on down a technology path, because Radio Shack, they was getting into the computers and all that kind of stuff. So I started learning more. At the time, even though I was fixing helicopter radios in the Army, I didn't even know what software and hardware the difference was. I really didn't. Because you learn how to fix the helicopter radios, you learn about electronic circuitry and things like that, and how to troubleshoot. But they didn't really have a reason to go into like, this is hardware, this is software.
They didn't differentiate between the two.
Right. So I started working for Radio Shack. I learned a lot more about technology, and this is crazy, right? Because as the computers advance and they bring in the computers, I don't know if y'all might remember, like there was a time where people started watching like movies on their computers instead of like really, that was kind of like a reason to buy a computer.
Right.
The graphics and everything went from here to like here, and now we got all these movies and the graphics and the explosions and
my kids don't own televisions; they have laptops because of graphics.
So I got to see that transition by working at Radio Shack. But being that I had a creative mind, I was sitting around thinking one day, I said, wow, you know what? This technology has advanced so much. And then, we had Bluetooth was starting to kind of kick up a little bit. We had some other wireless services at Radio Shack where you could now have, like, if you didn't have, like you say you had an apartment,
right?
You had cable downstairs, but you couldn't legally get it hooked up upstairs because you couldn't drill in the holes in the wall, and it was just a cheap apartment. So a lot of people come in, and we had this thing where you could send wirelessly your cable signal up to the next room, and you ain't had to worry about drilling no holes and stuff. So all that kind of stuff got me thinking about, you know what? One day, I bet you're going to be able to eliminate like CDs and the physical, tapes and CDs and VHS cassettes, and just listen and watch movies and listen to music, just because it's going to be some way the satellite is going to beam it down to the computer. I didn't know. I wasn't thinking like cloud or nothing like that. Right. I didn't have no knowledge of it, but I was just thinking one day they're going to be able to beam it from the satellite, whatever, to the computer. So I'm at Radio Shack for a year and 9 months. I moved home. When I moved home, I run back into Cool Chuck and my cousin Sean. Now, we all have been doing some music way back as kids. I was the person who my mom bought me 2 keyboards because I was into playing the piano. Mm-hmm. So she bought me a nice keyboard. It was the nicest gifts I ever got. Nice keyboard, and then a keyboard synthesizer. And then one year we got from JCPenney's a nice little stereo. Mm-hmm. So Cool Chuck, this is crazy, right? Because Cool Chuck, and I'm rewinding here back to childhood, right?
Okay.
Cool Chuck ends up moving across the street from me. The other crazy part is there was not a house across the street where he lived. For some reason, there was 3 lots in the neighborhood, and somebody came in with some money, and they put 3 little houses, like to fill in the rest of the little gaps in the neighborhood. It's an old neighborhood, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was a trip. So he ended up staying there. Well, of course, I get to know that he's into music. Next thing you know, when my parents are gone, we was like little latchkey kids anyway. You know what I'm saying? We was straight latchkey kids.
That's right.
It's like I heard somebody say that people in our era at 10 years old, we was 30, and at 50, we still 30. So I would bring the speakers out on the porch, hook the wires up from the keyboard, and Cool Chuck would be out there doing some beats. And I'd be out there playing like on the keys. One of the songs we used to play, LL Cool J, "I Need Love," and I would be doing the doo doo doo.
Yeah.
Like hitting the beat. I noticed then, I'm like, man, he's like spot on with it. I never had a clue he would be like a producer, DJ, nothing like that. I was just like, he's as good as I am. Because I had took real lessons, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, when I moved back home in 99, it was the end of 99.
Okay.
I realized, man, Chuck and Sean, they still like doing some music stuff. But when I got them together, I was talking to them one day, and I said, wait a minute, y'all don't have a website? No, we don't have a website. So anyway, fast forward, I had enrolled in computer technology at Tri-County Tech. I was just trying to keep my brain occupied, stay out the streets, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, right? So I had this teacher, shouts out to Susan Skineski.
Yes.
She's a nerd of nerds, pretty little white lady. Yeah. So after class one day, I asked her, I was like, Miss Susan, I said, is there a way that you could put like music on the internet with a website and stuff? And she looked at me kind of like foreign and strange. She was like, yes, you can do it, but she was like, that's really expensive. And I was like, oh, okay. But I didn't like shut it down. Like most people Where we're from, they would have shut it down.
That's right.
Technology teacher just told this little young brother that it's gonna be expensive. If she thinks it's expensive, what I look like trying to do it or pursue it. But man, I had a mentor that I was exposed to. Matter of fact, it was Bill Britt. You know, Bill Britt had a foreign for every day of the week, or if it wasn't a foreign, it was some car that was over 150 bands. You know, like a Ford GT or something. He had one for every day of the week for the month, right? But I remember he always said, whatever you're trying to pursue in life, don't ever think about the money at that. He's the way he said it and broke it down, it ingrained it on my heart. Yeah. And I believed him. Yes. So she said that it would be expensive. I never thought once I would never be able to start moving in that direction. I only thought and continued to imagine it happening.
Right.
I always say never think about how you're going to make it happen.
Yeah, and you instilled that in me.
Right. Always think about what you want the end result to look like. So fast forward, right? Somehow I end up working for the Boys and Girls Club, and they had me over on East Side at the Fortune Homes. But then the housing authority needed someone to work on the West Side at the community center. So the way they ended up doing it, they did it on a grant. They was paying me $6.70 an hour. But I was so broke. I was praying to God. I was like, God, just let this be my community service. Just bless me some kind of way, because this $6.70 an hour. This community service. I'm doing volunteer work. You know what I'm saying? Okay. When I met those kids, I was like, I can't quit. You know what I'm saying? I can't quit. So on West Side, they needed somebody. So what they did was they said, well, Mr. Smith, we're going to have you work 2 days on East Side, 3 days on West Side. And then the next week, you'll work 3 days on one side and 2 days on the other side. So fast forward, I'm working at the community center on the West Side. Shouts out to Marion Tarrant. Marion Tarrant has done so much for young men and women as well in Anderson, South Carolina. But they had a situation on West Side at the Heights computer system. And I don't even remember how I hooked up with Eric Gurley of Cyber Solutions. Okay. But back then, Eric was a one-man shop, and his brother John worked for him part-time. Today, Cyber Solutions is huge. They don't even do work for like the regular guy. They do all commercial work now.
Yeah, that's there. Yeah, they came moved up very big.
Yes. So I connected with Eric, and I ended up getting him the gig for the West Side communities, the Heights, for the Heights. Through that process, you know, I'm talking to him from time to time. Long story short, fast forward, PlatinumBPM.com was born. Because I got him that gig, and then he was like, I want to make this thing work out for you, you know. And then we talked some numbers, and it was steep, but it's just he was like, you know what, I'm gonna make this work out for you. And from there we start doing some things, and fast forward, somehow, you know, I got into learning about the digital streaming and stuff like that, and started guys on board.
What year was this though when you first started the stream? Was it 2003?
It was before 2003, because I remember hey, they called him Black Bandit back then. I think he goes by Dre Black today.
Dre Black is my brother. Yeah, good people.
But I remember he was one of the first artists that I hooked up and got on the platforms, and he sold his first physical CD copy. I think it was in 2002. And I remember
I believe it was 2002, but that's when I first really, I moved to South Carolina in 99 going into 2000. And I think I remember seeing him, but the first CD I got was Core Septic. He's nice, but he was one of the second ones that I had got. So you probably brought about 2002.
Yeah. So that we did that, and then I started getting some other guys to come on board, But back then, people just didn't have the vision, and that's why I was saying earlier. One of the saddest things is for me to think about is if we would have all just stayed connected and pushed PlatinumBPM.com as our own site, then we would have been bigger than MySpace. Because for one, we was already doing music. MySpace was doing like social media. We would have had the social media and the music part. And our website actually launched 11 months before MySpace.
Right.
And this is the website that you had spoken to your friend about?
Yeah. We the guy from Cyber Solutions, Eric Gurley, he ended up having his company build a website for us, PlatinumBPM.com. Matter of fact, Cool Chuck, we had done so much work. Chuck, if you Google Cool Chuck, he was coming up number one. He was coming up higher than producer Chuck D for like 10 years straight, but didn't have a vision to do nothing with it. You know how much money that's worth to come up above every Cool Chuck, every cool DJ, every DJ cool in the world on Google. So we just didn't have the vision. You know, people I was associating with, love you, Cool Chuck, but if he would have had the vision, he came up number one. If you Google,
you find because you have that background in technology, and I'm asking you this on a personal level because I went to school for the software side, so I got a understanding of how things really look in the background. Like we see paint drip there and all of that, but there's technology behind that. A lot of people can't picture that because all they see is that painted drip, but there's something sitting behind that. Do you find that
and stuff?
Right. Do you find that trying to get people to think, because that's where we are, we're here already, we still have some of that we had from the past, we're still working with that technology, but a lot of people can't picture this digital world, even though we're here. It's like we have our foot in the digital world, but we also have some of that older aspect. Like I remember when we used to have to put C colons backslash. I remember that run. I remember that. Oh yeah, I love technology. I think I probably, had I known that it was going to be a such thing called programming, I loved programming back then. So I understand, the technology behind that. Do you find that it is difficult trying to get people to see past that limitation? Because I do, trying to explain the digital world, and I think I have a better grasp at it because I've been working at it since 1998. I've been in this technological world, working in it, but I actually took it in school, and it's difficult trying to explain to some people where the world is going because listen, everybody, I just want to take a step back, and I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm so glad that you have that background because it's so important. Sometimes living in smaller communities and smaller cities, we don't see what's happening. There's this book called The World on Normal People that I read, and I can't think of, Devashna, if you are out there, remind me of the author. He was actually running for presidency when Trump was running for presidency the first time, and that he was because he sees what's going on with technology, but it's so difficult trying to get people to see it unless they've worked in it. Do you find that as well, that it's difficult trying to get people to see this digital world that, our toe is in it, but people don't see our body's about to be in it?
It really is. And a lot of times I still don't even realize that people are behind and that they're not thinking and they don't have vision. So it just, once again, it just makes me, from my personal previous experience with the music and entertainment, it just makes me push through, and not in a negative way, because some people take it personal, go through more people when I'm doing whatever I'm doing. Because if somebody doesn't catch the vision, then if you sit around and wait on them, you'll miss out on $580 million. And that's what I equated with like us launching PlatinumBPM.com before MySpace, 11 months before MySpace. And then a few years later, MySpace sold for $580 million. So that right there gives me a drive and a burn, even to this day. I have a moving company in Myrtle Beach. even with that, I'm gonna show you in 24 months. In 24 months, I've had this many people, this many people work for me in 24 months, over 40 people. But I learned that if people don't get where you're going, and this relates to the digital world based on this, when you're doing business online, when you're doing business in the world, period, we are obviously moving this physical, but people are going to rate you. So my focus is on them digital 5 stars for every job. But most guys, they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about, let's get this work, let's get this money. And they're not really thinking about the true end result that counts. Going in, wooing the customer, not kissing, but how do we get 5 stars? That's the basis of your move when you go in, but they don't understand that digitally and how important what's going on, like you said, what's going on behind the painted drip, what's going on behind the scene at the end of the job when people go on and give you a rating. That digital stamp is there forever. That's the important thing. That's the important thing. That's the thing that's going to help you get paid more money in the future, because when people see your ratings, that digital's programming in the background, when people gave you 5 stars, it's what's going to push you forward and be able to demand more in the long run and expand your company. But people don't get it. They just want to go in, do an okay job, and move on. So I'll go through them. You know?
Yeah, definitely. When you was in the digital world, I remember you showed me the numbers when you first let me, when you first introduced me to Platinum BPM, and I didn't even have any music yet, and he already put me on the website. I had my own page, and just off my image, he showed me the numbers. Like, they didn't even hear nothing. You know what I mean? And that was catchy for me to keep going. And when you was in the digital world and you told me the numbers of each track, from Cool Chuck, Katrina C, Black Bandit.
Back whenever they was actually paying artists to stream online and not raping them these days. Word.
And the numbers was different.
That's what
let's talk about that part. Let's talk about the money part. Like, now they give people a fraction of a penny. How much would it give you then in 2002?
And back then, you was basically getting a whole penny. And people don't understand how powerful that is, because think about today, if you do 300,000 streams, you ain't hardly getting no money. But if you had 300,000 pennies, hey, you paying rent. You paying your car note. You paying your car note.
How do you think what do you think changed so drastically that they're able to do that now?
Greed and ignorance and us not coming together. Think about it. And it really kind of mentally hurts for me to think about this. But if the guys that we was dealing with back then would have had the vision, like the Joker, he had a vision, like he just said, and I forgot about this. I remember now. I remember he didn't have any music. But because he was understanding more and more on board with the networking side, we just put a big picture poster of him up on the website. No music. While other guys had music, they thought they were doing something, but they wasn't really doing anything. He had no music. I'll never forget it now. We put you had that blue outfit on.
Yeah. I had the Buffalo Braves jersey with the hat. Well, I think it was the blue hat. It was a black Negro League hat on. You know what I mean? And you had the picture. I took a professional picture.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Professional picture.
You know what I'm saying? Went to the photo shoot out there in the mall. Took that, paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Back then it was expensive. Photo shoots back then was like $100. For like 20 shots. You know what I'm saying? And I invest that in it because I seen the vision, because you broke everything down so clearly, like you breaking things down now, but it was more clearly in the perspective, but so detailed. If you wasn't connected mentally of what he was saying, you wouldn't understand the language of what Mr. Will was saying. I did.
So you were able to use his picture as part of the brand to bring people to the website.
To the website. I have no music.
Content, because it's content.
Yes, it.
And
that picture was so powerful and so crisp, because he made it very, but Mr. Will made it very clear. He said we don't need no camera phone. You know what I'm saying? We don't need no picture that you're gonna scan at the scanner at Cyber Solutions. We're not gonna use none of that. He made it clear we're not gonna do nothing. We could do that, but we're not gonna do that. He said I did that on the site already. It don't work.
That, and you know that I do that today in everything I do, doing my best to get people to understand. And I don't even like to use I really don't care to use the word professional, because I mean, being from West Side, you know, we're West Side. I always tell people, look, I might not be professional because I understand I might not come across as professional to you, but I'm gonna be hood and respectful.
That's me. I'm gonna be real hood and real respectful at the same time.
And we're gonna do our best.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? To get you the best result, because that's what we're looking for in life. We're looking for results. But yeah, I forgot that too. I forgot I was on making sure that it was crisp and looking good, and we wasn't gonna basically do any bootleg stuff online. We was gonna make this basically what they would call professional. Wow.
Yeah, that was so awesome of that. Then I learned that. See, I was doing. Let me tell y'all where I was at in my life at that time. I was taking care of my kids. JJ was born, and I was in my life where I didn't have no money, nothing. I was a hot pocket away from being homeless at that time again. But I knew that the vision was so clear for me in my head that I said I'm on my 50 cent. I'm a die trying. That's where I was at. I was like, well, I could win, or I could take an L and still be all right, because at least I tried. That's how I was feeling. So when we did that, and at the time, that's when I first got a job at Shirt Kings at the time, clothing store. I just got the job and took the picture, put it on the website. That content did more than anybody on the site that did music. I was in the studio. I was trying to get in the studio. You know what I mean? Like I said, I have a dime to my name, but I knew studio costs money. Nobody will give me no handout. I wasn't worried about that. I knew that. But I had to come up with a way to where I can make some money to get into the studio, to at least have one single on to the platform. And then, like what? A year later, I did a whole EP with our brother Dame Downs. Building the Empire, the EP. You know what I mean? And I worked with Tim Bell, rest in peace. I worked with the other engineer out there in Clemson University. Out there, I worked with a lot of people, and I really took the time and sacrificed everything to do this, because I knew the vision that Mr. Will have brought to the table. And we're gonna go take a break. We're gonna go break and have a commercial break and a music video. We'll be right back. We're gonna continue in this conversation. Mr. Will, anybody that's tuned in right now have any questions for Mr. Will on anything on distribution, on marketing? He taught me digital marketing. We're gonna talk about digital marketing when we come back. He taught me the power of marketing, advertising, and promotion on the internet. He taught me everything I know now. He was the starter kit before I took the big class that my fellow Aunt paid for me to do to learn more about digital marketing. So we'll be right back, and y'all stay tuned and have y'all questions ready for Mr. Will. We'll be right back.
This is why you're a broke musician. Everyone's always so mad. They're saying the music business doesn't want us to succeed. Well, right now, this is the best time to be an artist, but you are not making the best decisions. See, most musicians are sending to Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, which all pay a fraction of a penny when people listen to their music. Is that worth it? Imagine if you looked into the newspaper and it said, there's a job offer. We pay you fractions of a penny. Would anybody be excited for that? No. The problem is most artists don't have any offers. They just send people to Spotify. That's their offer. My offer is I could get paid a fraction of a penny. They haven't set up a page that shows how much that they charge for a show. They don't have their website, and they're not driving traffic to their website where people can actually buy their albums. They don't have any membership platforms where people can now subscribe to them for $5 a month. There's no way for anybody to spend more money with them, even if they wanted to. So for you as an artist, what you do with this information is first, you need to start off by creating offers. Perform at someone's birthday party. What does that cost? Put it on your website. What does an album cost? Put it on your website. How much does a custom song cost? Put it on your website. You have to have other options for people to buy something from you than to just go to Spotify and pay you a fraction of a penny.
Came a long way, bro. Yeah, we did, man. It's That's where it all started from, bro. Right here, man. In Willow Park. Willow Park, 436 Jefferson F. Right in the park. Right here, bro. What'd you say? Say, stay Willow Park in, Buffalo legend to the end. That's what I say, man. Can't beat that. 52 years and still doing it, bro. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Dude, legend. Right where it all started from. Right where it all started from. That's what's up.
Dilly beats.
Yeah. Rest in peace to our fellow brethren, man. Stanley Tool, the #1 king of the radio of upstate South Carolina, man. Rest in peace to my brother. You know what I'm saying? Our brother. You know what I'm saying? I've definitely learned a lot of with this man. He taught me the music business down to the science, to everything. And before we get into more with Mr. Will, man, my question is, what's the first thing you learned from Mr. Stanley Tool?
Man, you know what? It's basically some of the stuff that I'm about to go into on the question that Vet asked, and really, it's about doing professional business and networking. You can't stay in your circle and expect to grow beyond it. Like, here's your circle. If you stay in it, how do you grow beyond your circle? You know, Stanley hooked up with Reggie Hawthorne.
Yes.
Me
and Reggie got the same birthday, May 13th.
And look at the vision Reggie had. This dude, he's been a mobile bartender for like damn 30 years or however long.
Yeah, mixed masters.
Right.
Yeah.
So once again, it goes to connecting with people with like minds, even if they ain't in the exact same field you're in. But him and Reggie was like two peas in a pod, you know. I immediately reached out to Reggie. Matter of fact, you know, my condolences and stuff. But yeah, networking and getting around people who had a bigger vision than the typical people you had. I want to get to the question that Yvette asked about thinking why do I think it's like the money with the streaming? And I'll answer it in a few words. First, you have greed of the industry. You got greed. Now, greed is some part of most people. I won't say every person is a greedy person, but it's in the industry, you know, there's a lot of greed. But here's the other problem, and I hope this sticks with everybody. Anybody who
artists, please listen.
Understand that we might have some issues in our lives that are not our fault, but it is our responsibility. So here's the problem with our culture: ignorance and stupidity commingling together. See, it's ignorant when you don't know, but when Mr. Will brings it to you, now you know. Now you're being stupid. So stupidity is a choice. We're ignorant on something. You know, Vette was talking about programming. I learned how to fix stuff, but when it comes to programming, I hated it. I was just like, you know what? I basically quit programming.
I loved it.
I was just like, you know what? Let me get this equipment, learn how to use this equipment, learn how this works, and fix stuff. But I ain't want to do the programming. So it goes back to us being ignorant and us not networking. And I'm gonna see if I can have a simple definition of networking, because I know some people use cultivation, and as soon as people say cultivation, they lose people when it comes to networking. So I'm gonna just say a simple definition of networking: the process. Everybody understands what a process is. Most people who have had some type of job, I don't care if you flip burgers, you know there's a process. You don't put the doggone cheese on the bread before you put the burger on the bread. You know, you typically gonna put the burger on, and then you're gonna put the cheese on top and the onions and all that, and then you're gonna put the bun on. You don't put the bun on and then go back and try to slide the onions in. It's a process.
It's an entire process.
So networking is the process of building mutually beneficial give and take relationships. That's a lot in there. It's the process. So we first got to understand, and we got to go follow through with the process. And we have to build. But how do you build? You got to have a foundation. Before they built my house, they had to come in with the blueprints. So they had to have a blueprint, some direction on where we're going with this. Is it going to be 1 story or 2 story? They had the blueprint. They had to have the tools. Okay, we need something to dig with. Okay, we're going to need some electrical wires. We're going to need power. We're going to need some plumbing. We're going to need some concrete. And they did the foundation. So we as a culture got to start doing that, building the foundations, networking, cultivating our different talents and skills together so that people can't come along and rape us for our music and our other fruit that we bring to the table. Because that's ridiculous. We're on the same computer that anybody else can be on right now, using the same internet technology that anybody else uses.
I feel like we are so used to having someone do it for us, Mr. Will, that we can't get out of that mindset that we can do it ourselves. And I love, thank you, Franklin. This is probably the highlight. And I know God sent you this way because I'm dealing with some things this morning. So this is definitely, I hope that everybody is out there really taking notes, because we need more Mr. Wills out here to teach us and help guide us on the process of making it work, because it is possible, y'all. Like, we don't always need somebody to build it for us. One of the greatest lessons I learned is if you don't see a road out there for you, carve it yourself. And I feel like we need to carve it ourselves, Mr. Will. I really do. But we're afraid to. And why do you think that, one, we aren't taking the initiative, and two, why are we so afraid to do what it is that you are telling us to do? Because it goes to ignorance and then stupidity. Everybody that's watching right now, we are all ignorant in a lot of the things that Mr. Will is talking about. But after this show ends, it will be our stupidity, which is a choice.
That's right.
Which is a choice, everybody. It is a choice. I'm gonna hand
my
it back
brother.
to Mr.
My brother
Will.
always says, "Choice is your superpower." So, as you was talking about fear, why are we so afraid? And the Joker, go ahead and give him one of the acronyms for fear. Go ahead and tell him.
Yeah, man. You know, I did a mixtape you can call Fear. Face everything and rise. You got to face that thing. I had a lot of fear in the beginning of what I was doing, and Will was one of the first ones to break that fear from me. Between him, Stanley Toole, and a couple other mentors I had in my life back then, Pastor Clint Scale, Pastor Aiden LeGroom. So it's like a lot of the people that my mentors at that time really helped me to understand on my personal life, but I changed that personal life into the business side of it. You know what I mean? That's what helped me understand the things the exercises that Mr. Will put me through when we did a couple promotions together. We got to do this. This we got to do. We got to get up. This still, I was getting up military time because he was like from the military, so he treated me like I was in boot camp in marketing, in promotion, advertising, and understanding the difference between all these things. He taught me these things. You know what I'm saying? Been times that I left Shirt Kings. I didn't get to go home to the family. He had to pick me up, and we had to ride an hour to another city to hand out flyers, to shake hands, kiss babies. He was showing me the ropes of the work that you got to put into, I hated it, but then I loved it at the same time. Like,
so you accepted the process.
Right, I accepted the process. That's what happened. I hated it. I was tired. I was frustrated. But once we got in motion, I was good. It made sense, and I was so proud of myself for doing that. And then I thank Mr. Will for that. You know what I'm saying? Then after everything was done, he was like, "Are you glad you came out? You glad you didn't give up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm so happy and joyful, and so we go out, get something to eat, and I'm just so happy, and I want to do it again. I don't even want to go back home, but it was time to go home."
And see, that's the thing, we have to have the vision to see to the other side. When we feel fear, we have to ask ourselves, what happens if I can actually go and build my credit and work? I don't really believe in overtime because I'm more entrepreneur minded now, but for the typical person who, says, okay, I got to get this OT. What happens when you say, I'm going to go do this OT, I'm going to work, I'm going to do my side hustle, I'm going to bake these cookies, I'm not going to spend my money on these cigarettes and this alcohol in the club? What it looks like? What does it look like on the other side of 6 months when I built my credit, when I've saved up this down payment to buy this house or put this money down on this condo? What does it look like? You got to visualize what it looks like, and you got to think about how are you going to feel when you handed the keys to their house or whatever it is, the car or the piece of land you're trying to get or the studio time. What is it going to look like? Are you going to keep saying, man, because I had so many guys, yeah, man, I can rap, I'm good, man, but I just need money for studio time. Okay, but you smoking and tricking and doing all this other stuff that's costing money. When if you save that and let it compound, you'll be able to go to the studio. Now
back up for a second, Misty, because you said something that a lot of people may not understand, understand. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, because 2024 is my year to get financially straight. Because I'm like, okay, that every time you don't want to cook, that don't mean you should call and order some food, because that's making somebody else rich. That's putting more money in somebody else's pocket. But I want to get back to something you said. If I take that money and I do something which is called compounding. This is what it is, y'all. I'm a visual person. So he said something, and I want to just take it back so that everybody understands, because we spend a lot of money partying, y'all. And I know, listen, I'm raising my hand because I've been known to do that. But I realize that the partying is not getting me anywhere. If I take that $50, $60, $70 that I'm spending on the weekend just to party, and a lot of times it's not just partying, we're trying to numb our mind away from our reality. If I take that money and I put it towards my future vet, compound it, like he said. Compounding means if you add, listen, sometimes we got to take it back to the streets, Mr. Will. You know how sometimes you get that 8 ball or whatever. You back in the days, the 8 ball used to cost $99, $100, $150. You take it, you flip it, you make $350, $400. That's compounding, y'all. That's compounding. You letting that money work for you. You am I wrong, Mr. Will?
Right, you're right, and you got to do the right thing with it. You can't go out and buy the new shoes or the new pocketbook or the new jewelry.
That part
right there. That part right there is where you instilled that in me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Been a couple times, walk the Shirt King. You like, yo, Z, what you about to do? What you about to do after you leave here? And I be on some, I'm about to go ahead and go, follow up with this shorty over here, and then I'm about to do this, and then he's like, oh, okay. And then one thing about Mr. Will is he'll be quiet for a minute, and then he'll leave, and then he'll come back. And people they're like, did you think about what you just said? And, I left and I came back. Did you think about what you just said? And then I'm like, what? I'm like, about going to the jump off and the da-da, and you know what I'm saying? And then they had me thinking, that was the reset. It's called a reset button. That was the reset button. So when he came back within 15 minutes before we could close down the store. And then I had to change my mind. That means change your mindset. And that was the reset of my mindset at that time. And ever since then, I made decisions with the training and with the guidance and with the love guidance that I call it love guidance, the love discipline that Mr. Will instilled in me. And it worked every time. I wanted to do this. I wanted to go to the strip club. I wanted to do that. I wanted to do all that, but then he'll come back and reset it every time. Because he makes sure that I did not forget what I said. Not what he told me, but what I said. You understand me? You know what I mean? So that was the mindset reset. That's what we need to do right now. A lot of people that's doing business right now, that's artists, clothes designers, opening a business, you know what I'm saying, working for somebody, building a business. I'm under LLC with a couple companies that help building. You got to change your mindset. No, I'm not working for the Even Rush Network. I'm a part of the Even Rush Network. You know what I'm saying? You have to see that mindset change. I'm going to do what I do like Mr. Don is already paying me a stack a week. I'm working. I was working for Mr. Will like he was paying me $500 a week. You know what I mean? But you got to look at the knowledge of it, what you're learning. You're changing your mindset. You're doing things for you so you can make money for yourself. And then before you know it, you're making money in your sleep like I'm doing right now. Been working for myself for over 2 years now and doing well. And I learned all this exercise I've learned was from Mr. Will and 9 other mentors that I have. You know, understand? You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's all. I had to say that.
One of the key things you just said, too, when it comes to mentoring people, that kind of goes back to, I take it back to my moving company where I've had all these people work for me. One of the things I do these days, okay, the Joker said he had a goal. It wasn't what I told him. I went back to what he said. So when you deal with people or before you start dealing with them, you got to get a goal. If they don't have a goal, any road will get them there. So you can connect with somebody and you got a vision in mind, but because they don't have a goal, They're all over the place. You're supposed to be meeting with them at 8 a.m. in Greenville, South Carolina. You know you got to come from Anderson. You know it's a 35, 40-minute drive, depending on traffic. Might be an hour. But you over there at 7:50, 7:45, you done got up at 5:30, did what you need to do. You sitting over there waiting outside the office or whatever, and you're calling them. They done stopped by old girl house, old dude house. Like, why? Because they didn't have a goal to think about what it's going to look like on the other side when you accomplish this task. So they don't have the motivation and inspiration to do the right thing. So you have to find people who have solid goals in life that you can always continue to bring that to their memory. Remember, we're doing this so you can get this. We're doing this so that we can get this. We can get our own building and we can stop leasing this building over here and have our own building, our own studio. And then we can take that extra resources and put it towards new equipment and so forth, put it towards advertisement. You got to hang around those people with goals and visions so that you can stay focused to get the way you want to go in life.
Because just like an apple, if you put a bad apple or any type of fruit in with that fruit, if it's bad, all the fruit is going to turn bad. A lot of times I don't think we as people understand that is exactly how we are. When I look at nature and I look at everything around me, I realize that the Most High has made everything to the only difference between us and what we see, the beauty of it, they're there for beauty, the flowers and the trees, but they still have to go through a process. They still have to go through some type of metamorphosis in order for them to become that beautiful thing that they see, that we see. If we put something rotten next to it, it's going to rot. Mm-hmm. If we hang around people that are full of hurt, full of pain, just rotten to the core because they don't want to heal, we are going to, it's just like a static. We're going to grab onto that, and we are going to become that. Mm-hmm. It's all right to not be around everybody that you know, because you realize that they are in a position that they aren't where you want to be.
It's negative energy.
Right. You know, I think we have to give ourselves permission, Mr. Will, to lead a different type of life, because we're so used to leading that life that we are afraid to step outside of that circle that you showed us earlier. We're so that false evidence appearing real is what Les Brown calls it.
Right.
We're scared of that. I was afraid for years, afraid to get out of that circle. And now it's like, you know, my circle is growing, but it's also shrinking. My knowledge is growing, but this is shrinking. And I think that sometimes we have to be willing to allow ourselves to grow, everybody. It's hard, I know. And I'm so thankful that you are here this morning, Mr. Will.
I'm thankful that it all worked out. And you know, you said something that reminded me of something that I've had several very successful mentors share with me over the years, and that is that you become the average of the 5 people you hang around the most.
Damn.
So if you hang around 4 broke people, guess who's probably gonna be the 5th one? If you hang around 4 felons that continue to do felon type shit, guess who's probably gonna be the 5th felon, because you're probably gonna get a conspiracy charge.
That part.
Torian said, I feel like the process makes sense. Manifest your successes, then establish that financial discipline and compound your money at that time while partaking in free networking opportunities.
There's nothing wrong with taking part of a free networking opportunity. Sometimes you might end up having to pay to go somewhere, but typically to get around the like-minded people, you want to go to the networking events and listen and get an ear. And when you're at a networking event, don't always try to be there selling somebody else what you offer. Listen and see how you can help somebody else.
That's my main thing. That's the main thing you instilled in me, and I've been working towards that through everything I've done. That's why I'm so successful today on a lot of things that I've done and accomplished, and the things that I've done, especially these past 3 years. I've really seen elevated. I had to go through a different stage of my life all the other years to keep my mindset exercising to what I wanted to do. And that was definitely real hard for me. And I've been plenty of times I didn't call Mr. Will at 3 a.m. and the phone calls and stuff, man, was definitely tough. But and one thing about Mr. Will, he answered his phone. That's all I liked about that. He answered his phone no matter what time of day it was. 90% of the time he's up already.
Late back in the day.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I thank him for that. And that's why I move different in how I do things now today. When I'm doing the Painted Drip, when I'm doing the podcast, when I'm doing things with the clothing line and music management, and what I'm saying, and learning these things, and it's like I've been through a lot of mentors. Now I'm a mentor myself for a lot of people, so you know what I mean. So and I tell people all the time, I have a mentor too. I have to answer to my mentor when I'm slipping. They be on my neck. You know what I'm saying? Will haven't been on my neck in a long time. Because I guess I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But a lot of other mentors still on me on a lot of things, especially on the music marketing side. But we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk to Mr. Will about how he get involved with one of the biggest websites of all time, HelloWorld.com. So we're gonna talk about that when we get back here after this break. Here on the morning show, y'all stay here. Going through Thursday, y'all. Going through Thursday. We going through it today. No doubt. Yeah.
Yo, what up? This your boy Terrence Love, and you're listening to the only show moving in the morning. That's the Morning Show Podcast with Joker and Vette every Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And remember, let's get love back on the radio. Terrence Love.
Tonight you're all mine. Yeah. Can't never think of you at night when I'm asleep, girl. All day I beg for you, cause you're my favorite treat. You're my everyday Valentine. And tonight you're all mine. Yeah. Custom made two-piece suit, diamonds as my jewels. Chairs love fitted, all gifts for you. Cause my baby keep it looking like a meal. And girl, I make you feel like you're a star for real. So I send a text message, what I wanna do. If you say yes, then girl, I'll be coming through. No, I need a love to come and swim in your loving, girl, that's for real. I think I'm going crazy. Can't never think of you at night when I'm asleep, girl. All day I been for you, cause you're my favorite treat. You're my everyday Valentine. And tonight you're all mine. Yeah. Can I kiss you from your head all the way to your feet, girl? Anything you want, I do, cause girl, you look so sweet. My everyday Valentine. Tonight you're all mine. Yeah. I seen the sun, I seen the moon, I seen the stars above. Looking into your eyes, my kisses on your thighs. I call my name when I reach that special spot. Oh yes, we're about to start making love over here, love over there, love in the kitchen, love in the chair. Tiger's girl is gonna be a bonnet. Cause once I get inside, girl, I'm gonna try. Can't never think of you at night when I'm asleep, girl. All day I think for you, cause you're my favorite treat. You're my everyday Valentine. And tonight you're all mine. Yeah. Can I kiss you from your head all the way down to your feet, girl? Anything you want, I do, cause girl, you look so sweet. My everyday Valentine. Tonight you're all mine. Yeah.
Talk to you.
You're my favorite treat. You're my everyday Valentine. And tonight you're all mine. Yeah. Can I get you from your head all the way down to your feet, girl? Anything you want, I'll do, cause girl, you look so sweet. My everyday Valentine. And tonight you're all mine. Yeah.
No doubt. Going through Thursday right here live this morning. You know what I'm saying? Got my brother, Mr. Will. You know what I'm saying? He is back in full effect right here on the morning show. Appreciate everybody tuned in today, because this is a very important show. This is my mentor, one of my first, if not the first mentor I ever had to get where I'm at right now. It was way back in 2002, 2003, and that's a long time. It's now 2024. So, you know, I've been going through the hills and the mountains of life of doing what I'm doing right now. So you let y'all know this is not happening overnight with me. Those with the marketing and all that. And I've learned a lot from this brother right here, and then I continue to be a student in the game as we speak. Let's talk about the first connection you had with one of the top websites that really blew my mind was HelloWorld.com. Man, let's talk about that movement right there.
Man. It was crazy because how I connected with Hello World was through this guy. God bless him. No disrespect. I always call his ass weird. Christopher Davis. Christopher Davis. I just helped him out with an event financially about 2 weeks ago, and I actually ended up missing the event. It was on a Sunday, but anyway, Chris does hats, and he is a brother that's very good at doing hats, like the hats that ladies wear in church. He does hats. So I was new to Myrtle Beach. I'm walking through the Coastal Grand Mall, and I see this brother, and he decked down. I think he worked. Is there a suit store called S&K or something like that?
Something like that. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he worked at like the suit place in the mall, right? So I see this brother, and I'm like, okay, I gotta see who he is, because he's the sharpest brother in the mall.
He was sharp.
You know, I end up kind of stalking him a little bit, like, yo, bro, hey, how you doing, man? What's up, man? And, you know, your suit and everything. What? So he was like, oh yeah, I work over here, such and such. I think it was S&K. I could be wrong, but it was like a nice suit store in the mall, right? So we talked, got to know each other, and this was like, I'm gonna see, I've been in Myrtle Beach for like 17 and almost 18 years. So it's like 15, 16 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So he connects me to a guy somewhere up north. He's like, I got this guy you need to meet. And that guy starts to show me how you can go live online. And I was like, what? And he was showing me like, look, all these people got their own TV shows. This is way before Facebook Live now.
Yeah, way before I think YouTube was just popping a little bit.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how I hooked up with Hello World, and they went through a lot of different challenges and stuff, but we learned a lot. I turned the Joker onto it, and you know, I mean, I was helping artists get numbers. I was helping them get.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God! I mean, I was screen capturing. I didn't know how to do screen capture back then, but there was a program called Snagit.
Okay.
And you could get Snagit and then you could get like a screen capture, create a screen capture, and then eventually you could do screen recordings. So I used Snagit, and I was like showing the guys like, look, your video got 700 views, like, and I could show them like they had all the analytics for it way back then.
That was like had to be about. I think when you gave me that, I was I signed? Was I what 85 South Click did when you gave me that?
My daughter is 12. Back up 9 months. That's basically 13 years. So this is before my daughter.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Was I with the 85 South Click did, or I was managing Miss Mitra at the time? I think it was between
Miss Mitra. You definitely was doing some stuff with Miss Mitra.
Yeah, and cause I remember I used that tool you gave me to push her.
Eventually, you did. You did, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I used that to push her, and that's how she got her fan base very fast. Besides the social media at the time was MySpace. She had a following in MySpace, but I wanted to get outside that community because I really wanted to touch the people on a different digital world community. And that's when Miss Will was like, well, I got this thing called HelloWorld.com, and he gave me the link, and then he trained me how to on the phone, and then he also trained me in his computer. I went to his house, and he actually showed me how you can connect these with the social.
You can do the links. You could have a video here and a link at the top, and this was way back then.
Way back then, like I was really building a marketplace, for the brand of Miss Mitra, because I was going to try that out for because at that time I was just starting 9 Elements. That was the birth of 9 Elements at the time. I said I ain't gonna do nothing with the 9 Elements yet. I'm gonna focus on Miss Mitra, and that was gonna be my bait. So I used that bait to reach people. This is when I first started. This was when I first told Mr. Will that Mr. Green, remember Daryl Green I met through Ant, that worked for HBO. He gave me to work with TuneCore. So I wanted to use that. Then TuneCore was in. TuneCore wouldn't even people know who a TuneCore was at the time. But I had Miss Mitra on all the platforms. And when I told Will that, he was very excited about that. He was like, that's dope. He said, now you really getting in when you fit in, because me knowing where he came from with the CD Baby and all that back, when he first started doing digital distribution. So I used that tool to reach a community that I've never reached before. Miss Mitra was getting, her ringtone was at 27K in 1 week.
Back then.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it was like, I was seeing with the technology, because I remember I took a couple of technology classes with Ant, my man Ant, when Daryl Green they paid for me to go. It was $400. When Bill Gates was talking, I was telling Mr. Will about the conference I was doing. He couldn't get a chance to do it because he said he was going out of town or something. You was like, you was going to pay for it for yourself, but you was like, you had to go out of town or something was going on. You was lifing, so you couldn't do it. So I did it, and then I gave him the feedback what was going on. But then with the hell, it worked so good, it helped it with the Hello World. It gave me the knowledge from that to Hello World to what I was doing for Miss Mitra, and it just makes sense. And I use that with MySpace. So now the people on MySpace, like the promoters, there was so many promoters on MySpace at the time doing club stuff and all that. And they was wondering, number one, how did I get Miss Mitra on the platform? Number two, how are you getting that feedback? How are you getting that audience?
Right.
At the time, because at that time, Soulja Boy was blowing up. And I knew what was going on with the Soulja Boy situation. But the crazy thing about it, though, I was thinking that Soulja Boy and his people was going through HelloWorld.com, but they was going through a different thing. But the thing was, we was caught up what they was doing. So that's the thing people didn't understand. Okay, Soulja Boy was doing this, I was doing this. Mr. Will brought me to the table to this. Everything was making sense, but people couldn't put their finger on what was going on. People thought I was a millionaire, and I was broke. People thought I had money. I was broke. Like I said, I was a hot pocket away from being homeless again. You know what I mean? So I was everything was coming from the computer, from this device that we work with today. You know what I mean? So that knowledge back then is why I do the things I'm doing right now without HelloWorld.com, because we have tools in front of us now.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And back then, you had to go through HelloWorld.com. There was no other platform that was doing what Hello World was doing at that time.
Mm.
And I think that YouTube learned from them. I think YouTube with the conference remember you told me they got sold out by a company for like how much was it? 4 million, 5 million? HelloWorld.com?
They ended up they ended up going through so much. I remember they changed to a tame response and
yeah, it was
changed
F5.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they changed that, but they took that character out that you couldn't use that link thing again. You have to use what was it? You had to get. I think did you have to connect with YouTube or another video? I think it was live stream came out and they was part of live stream or something like that. I forgot, but I knew you had to be connected to another resource to connect those together to work, and it costed double, and I didn't have the money at the time, but I took the small package. I took the $60 a month package. You know what I mean? And then I think you was doing the big package. You was doing the platinum package at the time with what you was doing with your companies and stuff like that. So, but everything was working so amazing at that time.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't have the vision to hop on that either, and that just
and then it worked so good. And I was in a place in my life to where I could do anything, and I knew I could do anything. I knew that I can take an artist and take them to the next level. One or two things: HelloWorld.com or PlatinumBPM.com. You know what I mean? I knew I had these resources, so I was ahead of the game out of most of the producers and managers that I met, that I brought to the table. I remember I had DJ Aries came to my house. He came from Atlanta to Anderson, South Carolina. Came to my house. He had just signed a contract with Rockaway Clothing with Jay-Z. He came to my house. Malachi from Dungeon Family. These brothers came to my house. He was behind the scenes celebrities. Came to my house because they wanted to see. They came to my house, my poor little apartment on Whitner, in Anderson, South Carolina, in the hood. Came down. Greg that I met from Howard, Georgia, who was the street team for DTP with Ludacris. Him, he brought Brian Shaka Zulu came in a Bentley to my house to see what I was doing because of Greg, who was the street team for DTP. You know what I mean? So people in the industry was coming to my poor little raggedy little house, little small apartment. Me and my baby mama and my son JJ.
Back in the day, man, we was making some noise.
Yeah,
I remember. I remember when China White came through.
She just came home from prison, and she came through to with rest in peace, K Tricky, my brother. Came to working at your brother's store.
I got a picture of me and her outside of my brother's store. It popped up on Facebook like the memory.
Yeah. The White Cave, we both Princess with Crime Mob, Bo Hagen, DJ Smalls, Little John's brother. You know what I'm saying? Little John's brother was name was Sean. You know what I'm saying? They call him he was Little Sean before we knew who Little Sean was from Detroit. It was different Little Sean, but that was Little John, and Little Sean was Little John's little brother. They all came to the store just to see,
hanging out in the Anderson Mall without
Anderson Mall. They came because they wanted to see who was making this noise on digital marketing then. Before I even knew what digital marketing was, like at the end of the day, Mr. Will made it clear, like you was doing digital marketing. You know that, right? That wasn't advertising. That was promotion and marketing. That what you was doing. And I'm like, word? And he broke it down to me. And I'm like, oh shoot. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm the shit then, ain't I? You know, because I didn't think that way, but I was like, I was doing that. So it was like everything came into play of everything that I do right now. You know what I'm saying? So I had the industry wondering what I was doing. When Bo Hagen Princess came from Cry Mob, China White, when I came, I was like, nobody was making no noise like that in the upstate South Carolina at the time.
Anderson, it was people who was talking, but when you and I got together, I mean, we started making, like some people would say, headway. You know, like actually doing stuff, moving units.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? actually doing some shows, some parties, actually doing some physical stuff. You know,
Yeah.
making things happen.
Yep. Even Murder Dog Magazine wanted to know what we was doing. They was willing to pay us at the time they was doing the magazine, but they never got back with us. I don't know what happened with that, but I know they talked with you first, and then they came to Shirt Kings and visit me and asked, we talked to Will, and they wanted to do some marketing, but I don't know what happened with that. I never happened with the Murder. I know the Murder Dog Magazine come out, but they didn't really use our marketing strategy to sell the magazine. But they definitely came to us and were like, talk to me, and I was like, well, we need to have a meeting then, because I didn't want to do business without Mr. Will at that time, because I had the sauce, but he had the ingredients of the sauce. So I didn't want to. It wouldn't make sense to even have a meeting and do something and move something forward without Mr. Will at that time, because we put in that hard work and he brought the solution to the table. I just went ahead and just jumped on it because I'd seen a vision of what was going on by how he broke it down to me, and it just makes sense. It was what I'm saying, 1 and 1 is 2. You know what I'm saying? Then 4 and 4 is 8. It just how it was. That's just how the connection was at that time. You know what I mean? Before this technology, what it is right now. So I knew what I was putting myself into then. And it was crazy.
What more should we be doing as we are all trying to, we're building our brand. Some of these artists are trying to get their music off the ground, and they, a lot of us don't know the steps that we should be taking. You spoke earlier about networking and the importance of that. What else should we or could we be doing? Because it's
that's a great thing.
Unless we make it.
Just to kind of touch back on reinforcing networking, getting around like-minded people with vision, having a vision you can agree on. And that brings me to, this is our Bike Week CD.
Wow.
Okay. I just found this thing. I thought I had lost the last one forever.
Was that K Tricky on the joint?
K Tricky was number 1.
Recipe.
Party Girl featuring K Tricky.
Yeah, man.
Right there at the top. You know, ain't nothing but a party girl.
Yeah, that's a joint. That Black Bike Week, that joint went viral before we knew what viral was.
Is bro, people don't understand. In my humble, but I feel like very accurate opinion, that's why A-Blaze got his first deal, and I might be wrong with the artist, but Dipset or somebody who sold a track to, because after we went to Bike Week and we was selling and hustling these boom, 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 boom. I mean, it was crazy because we was talking about fear earlier, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I remember going man, I need to go to a popular hotel and I'm gonna just ride the elevator. And that's what I did. I had fear, but I went to one of the hotels that had a lot of floors, and I would just jump on and off the elevator, hitting people like, yo, look. Now they in the elevator with me, so I got a captive audience. They can't go nowhere. They can't jump off the elevator.
Right.
So I was jumping
off
the elevator with this CD, right?
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. You said, what can we do? If you notice, okay, this here is a promo CD. I had just found this. All this stuff was in a box. It was in my wife's thing, so it's really perfect timing. Because Professor was asking about this right here, and I had been looking for it.
Classic.
All this stuff I recently found in one of my wife's totes for some reason. You see this right here? It says free. This is just something we was giving out. I think we might have did 25 or 50 or maybe 100, and we were just passing them out for free, like a little one song on it to promote the Electric City and the project that my man Dre Black, the Black Bandit back then, him and my man HQ Jermaine had, right? So you see that's a paper though. That's a paper print.
That's right.
This right here is the digital print. This is the first digital print, to my knowledge, the Anderson, South Carolina scene from some hip hop artists.
I think you had that print before. I think Damon Dow was in the process of getting this distribution together. I think he was waiting for his machines to come in the mail at that time. But you was
waiting on Damon because Electric City Records.
Right. That was
because Damon was like, I can.
That was the prototype machine. He did that on.
It's gonna be this price.
That's right.
And I remember going back and talking to him about the pricing, and he got the machine or whatever. Because when I first went, I don't remember the exact details, but I remember we didn't do it. But at the same time, we didn't need the CD till Bike Week. Bike Week's in May, so it was like at the time it was like no rush, and he was already saying, okay, if you need so many 100 pressed up, I could do it in this time, so forth and so forth. But yeah, Electric City Records.
Yes, right, the local right there. Yep.
Electric City Records. Shout out to Damon Downs.
Yeah.
Let's see, we had K Tricky. Can you see?
Yeah. And the Cool Checkers on there too. I wasn't knowing that one. I wasn't knowing that one.
You on here with Bro James?
That's right. Bro,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you on here with Bro James?
Yeah. And we performed that song. We opened up for the Franchise Boys.
Let's see. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh,
see it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Look at that.
OJ, yeah, that was that compilation.
Pastor Troy on this motherfucker here, baby.
Yeah, yes, right. Pastor Troy with the Pastor Troy and Baz is right. Cause Pete Troy, that's before Bike Week. Tommy, rest in peace to Tommy. He took us to Atlanta, and we went to. He took me to some type of function when I met Dallas Austin. I met Dallas Austin. I met Dallas Austin. I met Chili from TLC, her son, which is Dallas Austin's, is her baby father. I met them two, and then I met Michael Blue, who was the manager of Outkast, and he was the manager of the R&B singer Case, and he's Nick Cannon's manager today. That's one of my mentors too. He taught me the game in management, and by that time, that's how I met P. Troy, the time that song was getting released, and you know what I mean. And then I remember me and him was talking, and he was talking about Ant, who's also the writer of the movie Child Support, which is on Tubi right now, and that's another one of my mentors that I want to bring back on the show, also. And and I met P. Troy at the time. We had a good conversation, man, and he was telling me about the music business, and at that time he was going through a messed up record deal at the time that he was trying to get out of before he released his next album. What was the album with the Bible, like this, praying with the Bible, and the whole CD was red. That's before that dropped. And I had some good conversation with Pete Troy, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's funny you had got that joint right there, man. That's fire.
Shout out to Profound too. You remember Profound?
I remember Profound.
Yeah. Shout out to Profound. And shout out to the wonderful young lady that took the picture on the bike for me.
Yeah.
This was up at Clemson.
Okay.
And I was like, dang, all right, it's time for the rubber to meet the road. And I gotta get an album cover of some type. So this dude had his bike out, and then I remember seeing this girl. So I quickly ran over to the dude. I was like, hey, yo, bro, I'm doing an album cover. At first, he didn't really know if I was for real, but he realized I'm serious. And I'm like, can I get this girl to take a picture? So, you know, I had hit her up. I was like, hey, young lady, I ain't trying to holler at you, nothing like that. I'm Mr. Will, BPM Music, PlatinumBPM.com, blah, 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 blah. Hey, will you take a picture for a bike cover for us? And I chose a girl with some damn clothes on, too. That was intentional. Right? A bunch of pretty girls walking around. But I was like, I'm gonna get her right there. She got on the right amount of clothing and everything. She wasn't like some of the other girls up there trying to just show off the whole body. I was like, I'm gonna get that girl right there, you know. And I think it came out as one of the best album cover pictures ever. She got on the right clothing. She looks real good on it.
It was on a bike. So the black bike we came, it just hit people. As soon as they seen the bike, they wanted to buy the CD.
So yeah, it was straight.
Yeah, I mean, that was classic right there, man. Any questions? Anybody have any questions in the comments? Yes, definitely history. Sean Dawn, my mentor here. He taught me everything that I know right now. At least 90% of what I know right now when it comes to marketing, when it comes to networking, when it comes to promoting and all that. We didn't even get shit to talk about Fred for making a band.
Man,
with Diddy and them, yeah.
You know, that go back to what Bet was saying about what more can we do to have progress from the networking, from getting around people with like minds, creating a project, coming together on a project and following through on it so that people can see you serious. I feel like the Freddie P show, even though it didn't go exactly like we wanted, but people saw that we were serious. He showed up. People saw we were serious. You know, the voice box. You know, Abdul Blue.
Yeah. Yes,
you know,
yes. Shout out to him.
Director of the year today. You know what I'm saying? But think about it. That's who was the other connecting piece for the Freddie P show. You know, I called it the MTV Bad Boy Party.
Yeah. And because he was still signed with Diddy at the time.
Yeah, making the band, P. Diddy making the band. So you know, I think that was like a platform for all of us to elevate higher because people saw that like, yo, these guys are serious, and they've been doing like this and this over here. But now we did this at El Paraíso in Greer, South Carolina.
That club. Let me say something.
That
you would never think that was a club. You would think it was a restaurant.
What?
That
it was
club,
huge.
It was huge. You would never know how big it was because it was in the corner piece of a
shopping center.
Shopping center. And when we first went there, you dropped the bread for Fred, and then once you dropped the bread and the check cleared, he said, "I'm gonna take you to the spot." So we run into the shopping center. I'm thinking that we wanted to get some water because I think I was thirsty. It was hot. It was hot. I don't know what outside that day.
I
was dehydrated. He was like, "I'm gonna get some Gatorade, some water." So we rolled to the parking lot. I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna get some water and everything." He said, "No, we're going to the spot right here."
What? Where is that?
So we go to here, and then we seen Big Worm. He opened the door. Big Worm, shout out to Big Worm. we went through the VIP towards the stage because I believe I performed that. I performed at the show too, and that show was so huge.
Because remember, he had two huge DJ booths and two big old bars. I mean,
and then they had the VIP section with the VIP bar that was connected.
The VIP section was crazy.
Yeah, and then you had the strip club on the one side, and then you had the private rooms, and then you had the restaurant on the other side. So it was a restaurant on the other side, but it was connected to where it was on one side you could go eat, and you can conversate. It's like a little lounge area, and then the other side was the stage, the other DJ booth, the bar, the VIP was in the corner, the bathroom was over here, and then the front door in the security section. So everything was right there. It was so. I don't even know how many people it held at the time.
That thing held legally well over like 800 to 1,000 plus. Legally. I mean, you can cram people in, but like comfortably, 800 people. It was cool. It was straight.
Yeah. So when I seen that and we seen the spot, I was very like, wow, like, and everything was so separate. Like everything was the wiring for the equipment was the best equipment ever. This is my first time really performing in the best equipment ever because I always perform with some bad engineering, but that was the best engineering. That was best everything that was the best platform because there was other clubs that we were trying to get, but they wanted to arm the leg. We were trying to get this spot right there on Main Street downtown Greensville. On that one spot in the underground, they wasn't feeling us, but this spot here was nice, and Fred came through, and Fred was cool, like, what I mean, he was living his best life at the time, he was definitely hung out with him and all that, and then it's like everything that I think that year, I think I was so touching on a lot of things in the industry in that year. I've learned so much in that year of that was the best schooling. You know what I'm saying? I sacrificed a lot. Like I said, I was a hot pocket away being homeless. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like you understood that even though you may not have gotten anything monetarily, the experience a lot of times is way more than what you can get as far as money wise. Like the experience that you got back then, you're using to mentor people like myself and help us, get to that next level. And I think a lot of people forget that because we want to get paid for everything, but sometimes it's the experience that is so much more than you can ever, like the experience, I feel like is priceless. You can't put a number on that. It's something that you can use. And if you use it to continue to elevate. DJ Larry, I found the YouTube page. I'm so happy, DJ Larry Loud. Thank you for tuning in this morning.
DJ
We
Larry
have,
Loud. Yes, sir.
I feel like
Very loud.
Mr. Will, you're I hope that you become the resident mentor for the morning show with the Joker and Vet Green, because we're going to need you and your experience on this screen more often. So we got Franklin, get in his ear, because we need more people. And I know the power of a black man that is knowledgeable. I know very well what you all can do in your space, especially when you're using it to bring us and help guide us. I know what that is. That's why it is unknown caller. Oh, this is my son. I'm sorry. This right here is important. Joker,
Okay.
I told you about it earlier. I'm gonna drop down for a moment, y'all. So
okay, no doubt. The one thing I want to definitely touch bases on this in the little bit of minute we got left is let people know what they can do now into digital marketing. Like, I've been teaching digital marketing. I took a lot of digital marketing classes. You taught me a lot. I'm teaching people how to actually help them find their audience. Give them some tips how they can find their audience and get involved as far as how to do ads and use these platforms in the right way.
First of all, consistency on whatever it is. Don't start doing Facebook stories and do Facebook stories for 3 weeks, and then you don't do no more Facebook stories. Or reels. Don't start doing reels 2 or 3 weeks, and then you don't do any more reels. So let's just break it down on something simple as doing stories and reels. Before you start doing them, do this. Get your notebook out, your pen and paper. Start with the blank slate. Number it out 1 through 30. Just like if you was going to go do a little TV show. All right. If you was going to do a TV show series, and let's just say you was going to go to, I don't know, when we was in the upstate, they had Fox News in Greenville, South Carolina, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, shout out to JoJo Williams too. Joseph Williams.
Yes, sir.
He's wrote books. He's done.
You got the play going on right now too.
Shows. He's done plays. But shouts out to JoJo.
But those who know JoJo is his artist is Sadasia. We break her record on this platform.
Yes. So anyway, JoJo and I. So I'm gonna tell you in a real true story from somebody who's successful that's actually doing it. JoJo and I went over to Fox News. We sit down at the big, huge table in the office with the guys who make the decisions, and this is what they would want. Okay, so understand I'm sharing with you what you should do, and you have the power to go on Facebook for free to market yourself. But I want you to think from I gotta spend a bunch of money type of perspective, okay? Because it don't make sense for you to go do your reel for 3 weeks and you say you're promoting your music or your show or your book or whatever you're promoting, and then you only do it for 3 weeks. So when you go over to Fox News and sit down in front of all these guys and gals, right, who are the decision makers,
right,
one thing they're going to tell you is, look, you say you want to do a TV show with us, a series. Well, this is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have like 30 to 40 shows in the pocket, in the hopper, before you can do one show.
Right.
Understand this. So you're going to have to go film a whole show. It's going to sit over here on the shelf. You're going to have to go film another show. Bring all the artists together. Pay them, all the actors, and do 30 shows, and then talk to Fox, and they're going to say, okay, we're ready to start your show. We're going to start it at 7 p.m. on February the 14th. We're going to do the Lovers show or whatever. And then on February 14th, they air one of your shows. And in the meantime, you got 29 to 39 other shows already recorded. You still got to keep on recording shows so that if something happens to your crew, and you cannot record for, let's say, 2 weeks. Like a matter of fact, COVID was a great example.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who didn't follow that correct process, who had a show during COVID, they fell off because they didn't follow, I'll call it the Fox News protocol, because this is where I learned this from. I literally genuinely learned this from sitting at the table with the executives and the decision makers at Fox News. Okay. All right. So this, I'm pretty sure anybody that's successful does that, but this is where I learned it at with JoJo Williams. Okay. So anyway, you got to go and act like you got to pay all these actors and artists and grip camera personnel and all the back scene people before you do one show. All right. So go ahead and write down 30 different reels and what you're going to do. I'm going to do a reel outside my drop top. I'm going to do a reel outside my SUV. I'm going to do a reel down at the lake. I'm going to do a reel cooking at the cookout, and do all these reels and record them, have them in your phone, saved and dated and whatever. Utilize your technology to leverage your technology to the best of your ability. I take notes. If I put somebody's name in my phone, I might put music producer in the notes. I might put from, Alabama, from Atlanta, from Chicago, so that when I'm going back and looking for them. So do that. Come up with like 30 different reels before you post that first one. That way, if something happens where you are out of the net and you can't really do any reels, or maybe you have they call it like writers block, and you really can't think of some content that you feel is worthy for like a week or two, but you still can go and pull from the content that you previously did. So that, I hope that should be, if you really digest that, that's a powerful piece of advice to do, so that you can be consistent, because they always go back to being consistent. And with reels, right? This is free. I mean, reels are not like the Facebook story. The Facebook story is going to get, some views from the people you connected with. Those reels, I don't understand the whole algorithm, but the reels, they be going everywhere. People all over the place see some of my reels.
Yeah, the reels get seen by the people that's not even following you.
Right. The numbers on the reels, they literally are like 5 times what I would get on a story, or sometimes more than 5 times, sometimes like 10 times, 20 times. Yeah. And it's the same content. That did it as a story, posted as a reel. So make sure you're doing the reels, the stories, but make sure you're creating content, because you want to get registered in the search engines. And make sure you're doing some stuff on Twitter too, because Twitter is I won't get technical, but Twitter.
You know what? To I'm be honest with you, Twitter. And I forgot to highlight you about this one. Twitter had got me kind of. I don't know. I feel some type of way with Twitter. I don't know why.
They have a bunch of drama, but typically Twitter will help you register more in the search engines if somebody's looking for you.
Then say, okay, well, because I know Meta also search engines is very sensitive too. The Meta, which is IG and Facebook, that's about the same thing too. But I still post on there because I know everything's connected. I got everything connected, so they still see content.
Right.
What I got going on. But as far as just me doing ads, I never did no ads on the what's called Twitter /X. Was X now, but I haven't did that. But I know Meta is Meta been my baby for the past 5 years now. And I think I built my audience faster with Meta, and then I'm slowly getting into the YouTube lane when it comes to YouTube ads. I know it's very easy to do. Depends what your bid is and how much money you put behind it, and that nature, as far as reaching the people. I know my artist, Boss Banger, who I manage, is real heavy on that area. He's real good in that area. He even taught me some things in that area to do things, but he's very strong. He know how to convert the content right to the people. So what I'm saying? So that's dope. So, yeah, Mr. Will, I was glad to have you here this morning. And thank you for your time, because I know your time is very valuable. It is very hard to get a hold of this brother, man. He's, I've been knowing Mr. Will, man, for what, going on over 30 years. It's like, man, we've been through a lot. Been through a lot more positive energy. Working, educated. He was involved in so many lanes in his career. What he got going on, but let people know what you got going on right now and how they can get a hold of you.
All right. Before that, though, one of the things that the Joker and I come up with, and he has been big on promoting this little simple phrase that if you're doing any type of marketing and promotion and branding, you need to remember this. And the Joker has always been on top of this. And it is this simple phrase that your digital should match your physical. So some people get caught up in the internet and all they want to do is hide behind the screen and do stuff on the digital. But no, you need to get out old school, knocking doors. Hey, what's up? This is me. This is what I do, where I'm from. And once again, don't always be there to sell them your CD. Hey, ask, you know what? I'm doing this, but how could I help you? If you had one thing that I could help you with, possibly, not saying that I could, but how could I help you? Ask 10 people a month that. I promise you, your life will change so much before you go and try to sell them your product. But currently, I have a moving company in Myrtle Beach called Made Moves 007. Our motto is from the pod to the penthouse. We do local moves. We have a long mission, but I have a bigger brain than some people. So my mission statement is to first give people a peace of mind, make them happy, make them smile with confidence, the confidence for them to leave us great reviews, referrals, and repeat business. And that, in my opinion, is the mindset that you should have in everything you do. Give people first a peace of mind. And you will see how much easier, because it's challenging to get money, but you will see that if you provide people with a peace of mind, that will open the gates for you to get money. Because when you provide people with a peace of mind, here's what it does that most people don't think about in business these days. I mean, you give people peace of mind, they feel comfortable referring somebody to you. About it. Some people in their business model, they go out and they spend $100 on leads, $10,000 on leads. Then they go and treat those same people, customers, like crap, just to get the money, and then they run off with the money, and they go spend more money on leads. But what if you create fans out of those customers, and those people have a peace of mind and they feel good about referring you? Because people are only going to refer you if they have a peace of mind about referring you to their friends and family members and associates and network. So we got to keep that at top of mind to provide people with a peace of mind.
That's right. Yes.
Well, I appreciate you being here, Mr. Will Smith. This has definitely been very informative. I hope everybody out there got a lot from this. He came in talking about ignorance, which is not knowing, and stupidity, and that is knowing and still doing the wrong thing. I feel like we need to actually start doing more of the right thing. It's the only way we're going. We have to save ourselves, Mr. Will. I realize that a lot of people, we gotta stop. Everybody, I know y'all probably tired of hearing us say this, but we're saying it because we love you. We realize that it's when once your eyes are open to the reality of what is going on in this world, including this digital world, which we, like I said, we have our toe in it right now. And the only reason just our toe is in it is that they are evolving into this digital space, which means those cars that we're driving right now, they're going to be self-driven. So those jobs, those trucking jobs, what do you think is going to happen? I think when COVID happened, that really it catapulted people into this digital world, because now it's like all of these people are sick. I'm thinking on the corporate side.
Mm-hmm.
All of these people are sick. That means that's a liability.
That's right.
So humans became alive. Listen, there's so much I can get deeper and deeper into this thing. I just want to say thank you, Mr. Will. And I also want to ask you one question. I don't know if you're into politics or anything, but I want to acknowledge, because we talk a lot about Trump on this platform, because he's constantly in the news, and because we're in media, we have to talk about it.
Right.
But I also want to introduce everybody to another candidate, because in our minds, they program us to think that there's only two parties,
right,
the Republican and the Democrat, but there are other parties, one of them being the independent. Dr. Cornel West, everybody, is running for presidency. And a lot of you do not know. And we think that we don't have another option. And we think that we can't change what is going on in this world, but we can. So what do you know about Dr. Cornel West? And what are your thoughts on him? And you don't have to get into who, the political side, but I just want to talk about who he is just for a moment.
I do not know much about him, but I've heard positive things, but I actually did not know he was running this time.
See, everybody. Oh, we are going to talk about it. Black History Month is coming, everybody. The morning show is going to do. This is more than Black History. We are going to. Listen. Y'all gonna know who Dr. Cornel West is before this election.
Yes, definitely. I hear a lot of things about the brother too. I hear a lot of people talk about him. I heard he did a lot for the communities and racism and all types of stuff, man. So I think that's dope. I think that's dope, man. And you know what I'm saying? I'm willing to know what his agenda is and all that good stuff, and see what's going on and get educated. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm always a student. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I never stopped being, was a student, man. And I love being a student. Seems like I love being a student more than a teacher, it seemed like.
Me too. He gets that part, DJ Larry Loud. That is why we have to, because he gets no press at all. That part right there, DJ Larry Loud. Thank you for saying that. We need to know more. He's running, everybody. We don't have to vote for Trump, because I know a lot of Black people are leaning that way, and I just need y'all to sway. We need to. This can be a historical election.
Yes.
Keep in mind, it does not have to be Republican and Democrat. Yes. We can actually vote for the independent.
Yes. I definitely want to learn more about the brother, and I would love to see if we can get him on a platform. That'd be dope.
Oh, that is listen. Ooh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah, I always think big. Miss Wood, I always think big. I never think small.
And you know what the old saying is? It costs you the same thing to dream big as it does to dream small. It costs your life.
Yes. And I don't know if you said this quote or somebody else said this quote. That they said that you go to somebody that's trying to do something in their careers. You ask them, do they want hot dogs or do they want steak?
They gonna want steak. They might have been buying hot dogs, but 90% of them, if having the choice, they're gonna choose the steak.
Yeah. I'm saying, then you ask them about the steak and tell them what you got to do to get that steak, and they change their minds. Sometimes go back to the hot dog.
Right. Got to put in the work.
Yeah, saying
that was a word.
I remember that quote. Well,
Miss Wilson. Yeah, Miss Wilson. Big ups to Miss Wilson. It costs your life.
Yes.
Costs your life.
Yes, no doubt. Yeah, that's. I don't know that was you giving me that quote, or I think that might have been a Steady Tune quote. That might have been the old Steady Tune quote. He said, ask somebody, do you want steak or you want hot dog? You know what I'm saying?
That was definitely a thing in our circle. I don't know who I first heard it from.
Yeah. Somebody in our circle said that. There's a real deep quote, and I still use that to this day. And it makes sense. It really does. This is your boy, the Joker Overlook MC, man. We here at the end of the morning show. We appreciate everybody tuned in this morning. Took the time to get educated for those here. And I know a lot of people that wasn't knowing today. I know they're going to watch the replay. And the replay numbers are going to be crazy. But definitely take heed to this morning show. And please save it when you want to go back and get educated and take notes. And we're definitely going to make a way to bring Mr. Will back on some updates and things, man. Yes. And it took a long time to bring him on a platform. He's very busy. You know what I mean? I know he's about to relaunch his podcast, and he got his podcast getting real built up. And while we talking, how is it going? Is it you got everything ready?
I started painting. Well, I actually have a guy that works for me, Jamaican guy. Big ups to Canardo. But he does painting. So he started painting, and what happened really was the way the layout is upstairs, he painted a wall and another wall, and then I was like, you know what? I want to flip the color up. Yeah. So now I really got to go back and like see what color I want for. I'm gonna have like a wall. I don't know if you remember for my 40th birthday, I had this banner and it had like your name on it. I had like Mix Masters and all these businesses that I had done business with. Yeah. And I want to do a wall, but I want to do that wall a different color. But I want to put the names of different people I've networked with on that wall. So I'm kind of back in the brainstorming phase with it. But
everything built. I know it was getting built.
Yeah, it's drywall. It's the installation is all in. Yeah.
Where can we follow you? So for those who may want to follow Mr. Will Smith, where can we follow you at on social media?
My personal Instagram is just Real Mr. Will. REALMISTA Will. MISTA stands for Man of Intelligence, Serious and Tenacious About My Business, Created by an Awesome God. And the real part, actually, the Coastal Carolina students actually started calling me Real Mr. Will, because they would say, you know what, you're the adult that like stays true with us. You're the adult that is transparent. So, and they just started calling me Real Mr. Will like years ago, and then it transmitted into my Instagram, Real Mr. Will, my Twitter, Real Mr. Will, and so forth and so forth. My Cash App is Real Mr. Will.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's dope, man. I definitely appreciate you, man. We've been just way overdue. I've been trying to get you on since the pop-up show with the Joker.
I started doing I ended up helping out a friend of mine, Rachel Pins, out of Texas, on a podcast. Hope Not Dope. We normally do that at nighttime.
Yeah.
But helping people realize the importance of CBD.
Yes, definitely. That's dope. Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, we definitely when you relaunch, because you've been hitting me up because you want me to help relaunch the new podcast, and I like to hopefully we can bring Vette Green with me to go down there to Myrtle Beach.
Oh yeah,
relaunch it.
I've been there one time.
Yeah, the relaunch because the Myrtle Beach, man. Him and his wife doing it again. His wife do real estate. She still do real estate.
We do some personal real estate together, and she's working for the VA clinic as a nurse from home. So today she took the week off. So I left her over at the resort.
Yeah.
She's normally upstairs on the computer working from the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got me into real estate, really. So that's another thing, for any music artist, for anybody that's out there making some money, don't go spending on. I talked to a young guy yesterday, and he was just talking about, I bought my mom a phone, and I got me a phone, and it's like, take this money, buy you some land. My wife and I have 2 premium drop tops in the driveway. They got every bell and whistle on it, right? The eyes, the whatever, the lasers or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know what? We bought us a mobile home first. We bought us another mobile home, and they're paid for. Bought us a house in Myrtle Beach. And then she got a drop top.
That part.
I got a friend that I was in the military with. Shouts out to Mr. William Boyd down in Montgomery, Alabama. Reach out to him if you want a car. He can get you anything. He found me a drop top like my wife's because they stopped making them. And I hit him up. I said, hey, look, they stopped making these cars. Find me one. Now, there's another backstory with that because he used to cut my hair when I was 19. This man held a bag on this car for 2 months. So you want to build, as you cultivating and building relationships, you want to be able to just throw somebody a couple grand, say, yo, go give me that Maserati or go give me that whatever. And then they hold a bag for 2 months because they trust you and they know that you got them. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying gonna do that for any of y'all or anybody that's watching, but reach out to Mr. William Boyd in Montgomery, Alabama. If you want a car, he'll find you whatever you want. Just let him know. But part of the key to that, based on what we're doing here, is building and cultivating relationships that are long term, where people trust you and they will look out for you. I also bought a SUV from him. He put it in my driveway. He drove it down to Myrtle Beach. I didn't have to do all this extra footwork or nothing. I told him what I wanted. So once again, I'm not bragging or nothing, but the key to that is building trust. Here's one of the things that we say in our culture: trust no one. We say things like, my friend circle so small it can fit on the head of this.
My A1 day one.
And Drake got the song No New Friends. Please hear this, because a lot of people get very confused on the no new friends. They literally think that never ever should have another new friend in their life, which would that even make any sense? So here's the two things with no new friends, right? First of all, if Drake didn't create a new friend with Lil Wayne, what would Drake be?
Mm-hmm.
If he didn't create a new friend, right? Nobody knows Drake. Mm-hmm. He created a new friend in Lil Wayne.
That's right. That's right.
Right?
Mm-hmm. That's
Here's the thing about no new friends. It's not no N-O. It's K-N-O-W. Know your new friends. Know how you can provide value to them. Know how they can provide value to you. Know your new friends. So yeah, no new friends. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Will, you have been an entire vibe on this show today. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yes.
I'm just going to piggyback on what Mr. Will has said this morning, because he has definitely blessed us with a lot of knowledge. I am taking all of that in. Thank you, baby. I see you out there. This is my oldest daughter, Devajna. Thank you. You even resonated with her. So thank you, God, for placing Mr. Will in this space today. And I just want to say to everybody who's out there struggling, trying to figure it out, a lot of us, we can't help where we start. And a lot of us, we start at zero, and it's negative zero, especially coming from communities where we come from. We don't see that there's an end to the misery that a lot of us are living in, but I promise you there is. It does not matter where you start. You can't help where you start. What matters is where you finish, and that is our responsibility, where we finish at. If you have been given the grace of another day today, it is your responsibility. Okay, it is your responsibility to end this day on a higher note, period, because the Most High gave us the blessing of another day. And a lot of us are struggling, but it's our responsibility to make it happen.
That's right. I make it happen every day. To pick it back up, Mr. Will, is like, every day I'm always up. I'm always doing something. You know what I'm saying? I'm always working. I learned all of that value of time through Mr. Will. You know what I'm saying? It's good to have. I tell people to have a good friend, somebody that's in the military, because they know how to use their time.
That discipline.
Yeah, they was trained to use their time. You got to get ready for that war. You had to get ready to do prep work. You had to train. You have to know the knowledge. You had to go to school. You had to, time for child, and it's time for this, and it's time for that. It's time for church. It's time for everything. It's like, what I'm saying? That's what I do. I use my time wisely on everything I do. I'm always doing prep work. Every time people come, I'm always doing something for this platform. I'm always doing something for the Even Rush Network. I'm always doing something what I got going on. I'm always lifing things I got to do for myself, health-wise and everything else. So it's like, so it's time for everything. So, I'm definitely going to piggyback off that, and that's what I'm going to say right here. We appreciate Mr. Will for being here, you know what I'm saying? And stay backstage for a minute, and we're going to end this bad boy off with the next video. This is going through Thursday, and we will definitely see you guys tomorrow on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Fun Day Friday, Figure Out Friday. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that Friday going to do.
Tomorrow.
Right here on the morning show. Appreciate y'all. Good morning. Yeah, going through Thursday. Yes, indeed.
What's good, y'all? Your boy Bars Banger here. And every morning, weekday morning from 7 to 10, I'm tuned into the best morning show in the world, the Morning Show Podcast, with the overlooked MC, the Joker, and the Queen, VETTE Green. Monday through Friday from 7 to 10. You already know. Tap in.
Three, two, one.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Hey yo, make sure y'all tune in to the hottest podcast in the upstate. Colville, not a fun date.
We have special guests every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m.
Let's go.
Hello, thank you for visiting labeats.com. My name is Casey Lamke, and I want to introduce you to a new beat licensing platform. Here, you don't license one beat, you license them all. With hundreds of beats to choose from and new beats uploaded monthly, you, the artist, no longer have to choose which beat to buy while you search the internet. Become a member and download whatever you like, record your lyrics, and distribute your song. That's it. We have a free Beats membership so you can download over 100 beats for free, no catch. Once you finish your song, you can email us a link and we will also put your song on our Spotify playlist. The team at LA Beats has put together a package of multi-style music productions priced for anyone to break into the market. Get yourself a license to our ever-growing catalog of beats with your membership today.
Talking to a real goddess. Yes, God bless. Still fresh off of Essence Fest. You're my latest and greatest. There's never, no duplicating. Oh, now waiting so patient when you're not around. Did you remember to tell them that? Oh, that I always had your back. I'm a rider till the wheels go round and round and spin off into infinity. So this image of me might be what it clearly might need to be. You're my latest, my baby. There's never, no duplicating. No, I waited so patient when you're not around. I simply hate it. I ascertain sometimes I might be scatterbrained, and my heart is certainly not all terrain. That's so lame. So may I obtain some Novocaine. May I never complain when there's champagne. I check the mark like a trademark. A whole rider, theme park, a double park in front of Central Park. The black Joan of Arc, always sturdy, never no question marks.